Call me today and let's get your home sold.
The Channel 3 Storm Alert Team, weather coverage you can count on.
We are enjoying a beautiful week here in the Tennessee Valley, but as you've heard our meteorologist predicting rain possibly on the way this weekend. A perfect time for us to have David Majetic here. He is with AFS. Good to see you.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
So our basements and crawl spaces like this dry weather, but the rain presents a whole different problem. And this time of year, you were saying we can get an awful lot of rain, and that can lead to some real problems with cracks in your foundation.
Yes, ma'am. Especially the last 2 years, we've seemed to have had an excessive amount of rain, followed by drying periods, and everything that influences a foundation, a basement or a crawl space is influenced by the soils that the house is sitting on. So with all of that rain we've been getting the last couple of years, it's severely impacted the foundations through the soils.
You were sharing with me that you're originally from Washington State. You're ex-military from the Army, did construction for a while. So when you're going into these houses and you're walking around with people, I'm sure you realize that you have a home field advantage, so to speak, because you're going to tell them information about their house and problems they're having that they can't really verify. So being trustworthy is a big part of your job.
Absolutely. Our company thrives on the concept of integrity, and as part of that view and that philosophy, we not only do a thorough inspection, but we'll also come out with moisture readings and photographs and drawings and accurate measurements. We want to provide the customer with all the tools that they need to make an informed and a comfortable decision.
I think it probably is a little bit like avoiding going to the doctor that you don't want to hear as the bad news.
Yes, ma'am.
Do people often wait too long in calling you and then a problem just grows?
Sadly, that is true, and also just by virtue of the fact that a crawl space is not someplace that most people want to go into on a normal basis. They don't know about the problems that they have until oftentimes it's too late.
So what do you see in our neck of the woods here in the Tennessee Valley? Because an awful lot of people do have crawl spaces and not basements. Does our soil just not drain well, and that's what leads to the water collection in the basements, or is it underground water that has nowhere else to go?
That's a great question. It's actually a combination of both. If you can picture soils as being like a sponge, when we've had these rains that we've had the last few years especially, that soil just absorbs that water and expands, and then your foundation's actually sitting on that sponge. So as the soils expand during the rainy seasons, it moves the foundation. And then the opposite is true during the drought periods like we had last summer, where the soils will actually contract and shrink like modeling clay, and all those things wreak havoc on your foundation.
So what do you do? Is it a one-size-fits-all, or when you come into a home, what if all they can do is afford a little bit of the fix at the moment? Is a little bit of a start better than nothing?
Well, it depends on the situation, obviously, but oftentimes we can customize a fix or repair plan for that customer based upon their financial needs or their financial situation. But the most important thing is that we spend that time informing them on what's going on. It's better to know what's going on and to be able to address it, and then they can take care of addressing the situations as they see fit.
As you mentioned, not all of us are walking and crawling through our crawl spaces. So if you're just walking around your house, will you see some telltale signs? Will you see some cracks in the brick or a stucco, or what are other outside signs that you may have an issue?
That's another great question. Yes, obviously outside, if you're looking on the bricks or your concrete block, and if you're seeing cracks or separations, if you see a hairline crack that seems to be opening up, if you're seeing areas around your house where water seems to be pooling up, and it seems like there's an area of your ground outside of your house that's always wet when you walk on it, those are definitely good signs and telltale signs.
Okay, what about mold concerns from an inside the house problem? If you've got water in your crawl space, can that lead to poor air quality inside the house?
It sure can. And you can look and see the flooring, if you're seeing some separation in the flooring, if you're seeing your flooring starting to cup or to open up or split, or even worse, if you're smelling mildew and mold smells on the inside of the house, I would definitely give us a call as soon as possible.
Okay, in terms of getting you out there, are y'all working on a pretty quick turnaround? If folks call you today, can they get someone out within just a couple of days generally?
Generally, within about a week or maybe a
Okay.
week and a half, we can get to you. Now, going into the winter season, we can service even faster.
Okay, so you don't want to wait because that water is definitely your enemy when it comes to home ownership.
Yes, ma'am.
You can find AFS at the number there you see on your screen, also the website to see more, but let them come out and help you. As David said, they want that trustworthy feeling to be part of your family's life. Good
Yes,
to see
ma'am.
you this morning.
Thank you.
Your healthy skin.